All right, welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for being here with us this afternoon. This is the Busan International Wellness Conference 2020, also known as BIWC 2020. We've come to the final session of today's wellness seminar, and in the hopes of getting everyone up and moving, because we have been sitting for quite a while, I am very excited to welcome last, but certainly not least, up to the stage, Jen Pham, who is a mind-body connection instructor from WellMe Wellness Solutions. She's going to bring us a creative movement workshop to strengthen immunity and increase strength and flexibility in our often sedentary lives. And of course, if you are viewing on YouTube at the BIWC YouTube channel, please do follow along at home. No one's watching, and we're going to get up and moving. So ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Jen Pham. 큰 박수 부탁드립니다.
Hello, and thank you so much, Laura, for the wonderful introduction. I hope everyone is feeling great. Thank you again so much for joining us. And like Laura mentioned, this is a creative movement workshop. So for those of you who are watching at home, let's just take a minute to arrive in this space together, not only mentally, but physically as well. So maybe you have to readjust yourself and find a nice, sweet little space where you can maybe move around a bit, stretch out a little bit. Okay, so we are going to be doing a bit of movement. So I'll just give you maybe like a minute or so to kind of settle in and find a space. Those of you who are here with us, we're sitting, but you have an option. You can stand if you want to, but I suggest that you may move some things around you. Maybe you have some bags around your feet or some water bottles. So just take the time to do that now. All right, so our session today, the last session of the day, we're going to be talking about intelligent movement and how that's really going to help to bridge the gap between yoga and your immune system, okay? So now that we've arrived here physically, I'm going to piggyback off of Dr. Ashton Cho's mindfulness session. We're going to just take a minute to arrive here mentally as well. Okay, so let's dedicate this time to ourselves. We set aside the whole day for wellness, and let's end it on an amazing note. So let's do that by being a little bit mindful. Okay, so gently just close the eyes with me. Just take a second here. And wherever you are, if you're sitting, if you're standing, if you're laying down, it's perfectly fine. Start to bring some awareness to the breath here. And whatever agenda that you may have after this class, or whatever thoughts that may arise in this class, just gently put that aside. Any tasks that you have to do, set that aside so that we can dedicate this space and time and really be present in the moment. Let's take one more breath together. Inhale. And on the exhale, slowly start to open the eyes. All right, now that we are here mentally together, okay, so let me just introduce myself. Again, my name is Jen, and I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, in America. I've been in Busan for about 2.5 years now, and I have my bachelor's in science and biology specifically, my master's in education, and I'm also a certified yoga teacher. So me in a nutshell, I love science, I love teaching, and I love yoga. So hopefully that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking a little bit about science. We're going to be talking a little bit about yoga. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of teaching. So hopefully you can take away something from our session today and really work it into your everyday life. All right, so that's me. I'm also a proud partner of the WellMe team. Okay, and that's, yay, that's us there. We have some WellMe team members here today. All right, so yeah, like I said, you can usually find me around town. Either I'm teaching yoga, doing yoga, talking about yoga. So, or alternatively, I am also an experienced Typhoon yoga instructor. So if you're interested, contact me. All right, so the presentation overview, our main talking points. We're going to be talking about what intelligent movement is. What exactly is it? Also, we have to address the big elephant in the room, corona, right? Coronavirus and what is done to our bodies and our state of health. And then we're going to review the lymphatic system, which plays a huge part of your immune system. And then we're going to have a creative workshop where there's going to be some movement, some self-massage, finding our lymph nodes, some simple yoga practices you can really just do anywhere, anytime. And then I have a special little dry body brushing demo for you, and that's at the very end. All right? So first things first, what exactly is intelligent movement? It's just brain training, really. And it's not the kind that, you know, those little apps that you see on your phone. I'm not talking about playing those little brain training games. It's training your brain through movement. It's when you put thought behind your physical movements, right? It revolves around training your neural pathways, okay? So to direct the nervous system to create efficiency when we're wanting to make muscles for the long term. So basically, you're just reorganizing your brain, essentially, okay? So you can get the most out of your daily movements. All right, just a quick show of hands. How many of you would say that you have poor posture to some degree? I'm going to raise my hand because I feel like it's not something that I'm working on it, but it's not something that I would say I'm 100% really efficient at, having good posture. And I can see some of you guys starting to sit up a little bit taller as I mentioned that. It's a bad habit, right? Yeah, it's a habit. It's something that slips into our subconscious, and the only way that we can start to improve it is when somebody mentions it, right? Or when you have a little bit of back pain, okay, right? It's not something that always stays in the forefront of your mind. Okay, and so because it lives in our subconscious, what intelligent movement serves to do, it helps you identify and change these habitual patterns that, and areas of tension that you may be holding on to the body that you don't even realize. It's just a part of your movement pattern, right? And so intelligent movement is going to help you repattern and restore the body's natural alignment. And in doing that, this is going to hopefully help to alleviate some pain and inflammation in the body, okay? And so this session, it's focused on educating you about how your body works, okay? I want to enable you to take responsibility for your own health and well-being, okay? Giving you all the tools that you need to say, you know what, I know how to take care of my body, I know how it works, and yeah, put you in charge, put you in the driver's seat, okay? Now I made a note here from Dr. Ashton Cho's wonderful session about consumability in the wellness industry, okay? I thought that was a really wonderful point, and why self-care is so important. Yeah, we often really just kind of associate wellness and well-being with the aesthetic benefits, right? I'll tap into more into this later on, but yeah, intelligent movement, because it requires a lot of mindfulness, you're really just kind of taking this moment for yourself to dedicate for yourself your own journey, making this about you, okay, not about anybody else, right? And so being mindful in that space and kind of just ignoring everything around you, will really help you to really build that strong toolkit that you'll need. Okay? All right, now I have a note here. So we talked about what intelligent movement is. Let's talk about what it's not. Okay? So I have a note here, and it says what not to do. Zoning out. I myself, I'm very guilty of this, especially lately. I've been trying to do these little YouTube challenges. My friends have invited me into a group chat, and we're doing this little 15-day ab challenge. I don't know why I agreed, but it's grueling. It's hard. I don't know how I managed to get through. But one of the things that I do, especially when it comes to doing repetitive motions, that it can be quite tough. I'll put music on. I'll listen to my Cardi B, and I'll blare it. It's going at 100% volume, and I'll just focus on the music and not on what I'm doing. Right? So in zoning out, I'm thinking I can just listen to the music, and that'll help me get to those 100 reps that I need to do, or finish off this 1-minute timer just to get to the end. When we do this, when we zone out, this is not what intelligent movement is. Okay, this is not what's going to build those deep neuromuscular pathways that will help us, to feel stronger, faster. All right, so the key here is to work smarter and not harder. Okay. All right, so how many of you guys have heard of muscle memory? Are you familiar with this term? Muscle memory, it's when you do a movement, when you repeat a movement over and over and over again, so much so that a long-term muscle memory is created, and soon enough, you'll be able to do this with like little to no conscious effort. So things like riding a bike, typing, right? Typing on the keyboard. If you do it enough times, you won't have to think about it. Your mind will eventually just know what to do with very little effort. Okay, so it's an easy to remember term that gives a good idea of the concept without having to get too much into the details. Okay, but we're going to get into the details. Muscle memory it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Okay, now, what it is that's giving you that memory, if you will, is you're tapping into those neural pathways. The muscle itself technically cannot be educated. Okay? The muscle itself cannot be educated. Rather, it's the nervous system that can be educated. The neural pathways that you're strengthening, and that you're, with the number of times and the frequency in which you do the controlled movements, that's going to strengthen those neural pathways to give you that so-called muscle memory. Okay? So, now, the more focused you are on a specific movement pattern, okay, or the more mindful you are, rather, okay, the more likely you're going to be able to increase those pathways, the synapses between the neural pathways, okay, and then that's going to determine the strength of the muscle contraction. Right? So this is super critical for rehab and improving your movement patterns in the quickest amount of time. So it's going to get you feeling better, faster, through mindfulness. Okay? All right. Now, and so intelligent movement, tapping into your neural pathways via mindfulness to get the most out of your movements. This is something that Pilates and yoga, they've done traditionally forever, for the longest time. Okay, so staying mindful during yoga class, you always hear the yoga teacher, focus inward, turn your attention inward, stay mindful during the moving meditation. Well, it turns out there's a science to it after all. Okay? Now, why is this so important right now? Because specifically now, we are living through the times of Corona, or Miss Rona, I like to call her. Okay? Everybody, I mean, it's quite obvious that it's done a lot of detrimental things to our health. I'm just going to just tap into some of the more obvious ones, okay? So first things first, can everybody see this slide? Okay, first things first, social isolation. Human beings, we're meant to be social. We're meant to be social. And so because of the social isolation, a lot of people have been feeling some loneliness, some fear, maybe some anxiety from not being able to contact their loved ones or just being around people and having that social aspect that is so important as being a human, right? Something else that Corona has, another gift that Corona has given us, if you will, we've spent more time on our phones. I know I have. I have an iPhone, and I don't know if you guys have this little setting, but on the iPhone, it gives you like this little weekly screen report, and it tells you, do you know what I'm talking about? Yes. It tells you how much time that you spend on your phone. So immediately after Corona started, I was just spending a lot of time on my phone getting information through news and through all the feeds and stuff, and also just trying to contact my family and friends. So my weekly, the first one I got was, I didn't even know that was a thing, and it popped up and I was like, wow, okay, iPhone rude, disrespecting me. It said I had spent 137% more time on my phone that week than the previous week before. It's a lot of time on my phone. So what does this lead to? More screen time on the phone. Obviously, you're going to get that text neck, all that crunchiness that you feel, the tension in your shoulders. You're hunched over. I mean, most of us already spend too much time sitting over the laptop or over a desk. Combine that with when you're at home, you're also scrunched over on your phone trying to, either text your friends or get more information. You're not making face-to-face contact with your friends. Right, so poor posture, text neck, this comes from more screen time. And then lastly, less physical activity. I myself, I love to be out in nature. I love exercising outdoors. So for me, I know that Corona has affected my physical activity a lot. And because my house is quite small, I don't have space for gym equipment. Gyms were closed. There's a lot of hurdles that we had to face in the time of Corona, right? So less physical activity, this is gonna lead to buildup of lymph fluid in the body. Okay, what on earth is lymph fluid? What are you talking about, girl? Stay tuned, because we are going to talk about that in just a second. But I have a quote for you, and it says here, most people have no idea how good their body is designed to feel. Who said it? I don't know. I found it on Instagram. But that's the thing about quotes, right? It's not necessarily who said it that gives it value. Okay, it's up to you to resonate with it, to internalize it, and to really incorporate it into your paradigm so that you can move through the world a little differently. Okay? You can see and move through the world a little bit differently. It's no secret that exercise is super important for our health and wellness. We all know this. It's not rocket science here. But exactly how movement keeps the doctor away, that can often be overshadowed by the aesthetic benefits, right? Like very much like what Dr. Ashton Cho said. He showed you the #wellness feed, and the baby had biceps, So a lot of the times we're often concerned with how we're supposed to look, okay, when it comes to wellness. So let's shift that. Today we're going to focus the spotlight on how our body is designed to feel, rather than how it's supposed to look. Okay. So, moving along, like I said, so Corona, less physical activity, this has led to a buildup of lymph fluid in the system. What on earth is lymph fluid? Lymph fluid lives within the lymphatic system. Okay, so to gain insight into how intelligent movement helps us to live well for longer, and also through the time of Corona, we need to take a look into the inner workings of the body. Okay, one of the body's major networks, the lymphatic system. So if you take a look at this image here, the purple network, that's not your veins, that's actually your lymphatic system. Okay, it's composed of your lymphatic vessels. Those little skittle-sized nodules that you see, those are your lymph nodes. Okay, and what lives in the vessels? Your lymph fluid. It's not blood, it's blood plasma. And what that plasma does is it collects waste from the cells and transports it, and so you can flush it out and get rid of it. Okay? Now, that fluid also absorbs fats and fat-soluble nutrients. Okay, so that'll help process that out the body as well. And I have a little tidbit for you. Many scientists say that one of the best ways to get the lymphatic system going and to get that fluid out is by jumping on a trampoline, right? Because we don't have access to a trampoline, unfortunately, we're gonna go through some ways in which we can do this in your own home, at work, at this wellness conference, anywhere really, even in a taxi. I've done this in a taxi too. All right, so so let's look. To better understand the lymphatic system, let's take a deeper look, a closer look, okay? So it's very similar in many ways to how the blood circulates in the system. Okay, it goes everywhere, your lymph fluid, it goes everywhere, and it allows for movement of, like I said, the waste in the body to be excreted. Now, the fluid drains through the lymphatic system, like I said, very similar to the blood. Unlike the circulatory system, however, there is no pump. Okay? Your blood is pumped through the body via the heart. That's the machine. Your lymph fluid doesn't have a pump. Okay? Now, what's going to move that fluid? Actual movement, right? So, by squeezing the vessels through movement or massage, that's going to help get everything flowing. So that being said, when you are inactive, okay, that's going to significantly reduce your lymph flow, and it's going to create buildup of toxin everywhere in your body. So this is where the inflammation and the pain comes in. Okay. All right. So massage and exercise. How exercise really helps us to manage the efficient flow. It's simple. You can either do that through manual manipulation, massaging, self-massage, we're going to do that today, or through muscular contraction. Okay, so deep breathing, exercise, and massage, therefore it's great ways to encourage this lymph flow and to maintain the health of this essential system. Okay, now we are going to get into our self-massage through an activity called Find Your Nose. Okay, are you ready, folks? I hope you guys at home are as well. Okay, so first things first. First thing on the agenda, please find a comfortable position. You can be seated, you can be standing, the choice is yours, you can even be laying down. Okay, so you also need a quiet space because mindfulness, like I said, is going to really start to tap into those neural pathways, make it stronger so that we can become that well-oiled machine more efficiently, faster. Okay, so find a quiet space to kind of really activate those neural pathways. And then we're going to invite mindfulness to the party, okay, by visualizing those lymph fluids. You can almost see those lymph fluids moving through the body, okay? Yeah, you have X-ray vision now. You can see it, can't you? All right, so first things first, if you look at the diagram here, there's 6 points that we're going to be massaging today. We're going to begin at the knees, okay, and then work our way upwards. All right, so I'm going to come over here so I can demonstrate for you guys. Can you see me? Is this okay? All right, so we're going to start at the knees here, or behind the knees rather, and we're going to take our hands and use the pads of our fingers, okay? All right, and if you're sitting, you can stay seated, that's okay. And then just behind the knees, start to draw little circles behind the knees here. Again, okay, visualize and imagine you can see those lymph nodes behind the knees. Now, the reason why this area is such a great area to drain is because all of the fluids that pool in your feet, because as humans, we're designed to be upright. We're on our feet all day, and so a lot of fluids, through gravity, it just sits and collects at the feet, so it gets stuck there, right? And so by massaging the nodes behind the knees, you can almost see the fluids kind of starting to get some movement here. You're getting the juices flowing. So draw little circles here behind the knees. And then from the circles, start to brush upwards. Okay, we're moving all that fluid upward. Put a little bit more pressure into your movement. Okay, beautiful. Now, for those of you who are seated, I'm going to show you what it looks like seated. Okay, so we're going to move to the groin. Okay, so again, the nodes behind the knees collects all the toxins from your feet that just get stuck there from standing so much. We're going to move that upward and flush it towards the groin area. Okay, and I like to use the pads of my palms here. Okay, we're going to use that, and then where your hip crease is, okay, you're going to tuck that little pad of your palm into that area and just start to massage that area. Okay, just start to massage that area. We tend to carry a lot of tension in the hips. Okay, and so some of you may be even experiencing some tightness in the hips. So this should feel really good, releasing all of the fluid here from sitting too much, from standing too much. Okay. Again, we're staying mindful here by visualizing those lymph fluids moving through the body. All right, and now we're going to move upwards to our elbow creases. Okay, so much like the fluids that are stuck in the feet, your hands do a lot for you as well, right? We all know this. And because our hands are mostly down by our sides in a downward position, they also collect a lot of fluid and toxins here. And so we have a major node network here as well. We're going to give that a massage to get everything flowing again, okay? So I like to use my thumbs here for this, but this is totally up to you. I encourage you to find what feels good for you, okay? So it's not going to look the same for everybody, and that's perfectly fine. I see some of you, squeezing like that's perfectly okay. But what's important here is that we move in gentle circular motions, okay, to kind of release any of the stickiness here. Breathing your way through it. And then switching sides here, getting the other arm. Releasing all that tension. All right, now let's move towards the face. Now, for those of you at home, you won't be wearing a mask, which is wonderful. That's ideal. But for those of you who are wearing a mask, you can kind of play around with it and see what's most comfortable for you. Okay, so I'm going to try to show you as much as I can what that looks like. Okay, so now we're going to be working towards the jaw area. Okay, so I want you to take two fingers like this and kind of make a peace sign. Yeah. And then we're going to wrap that around the ears, just like this. Wrap it around the ears. Beautiful. Good. And then from here, we're going to draw little circles one way. Draw little circles one way. Massaging the temples as you go. And see if you can deepen that pressure just a little bit. Let's reverse that circle the other way. Now, this is one of my favorite ones because this helps to drain the fluid in the face. So when I eat ramen the night before, my face is puffy. I'm telling you, this works miracles. Okay, so it's going to help to de-bloat and de-puff your face as well. Okay, and so from here, we're going to work our way down the jaw. So keeping that the same position with the fingers, we're going to trace our jawline down the neck and then just over the shoulders, just like this. Okay, and put a little pressure here. So for those, again, like I said, those of you at home, you're going to be able to do this, I think, a little bit better. So, but I'm just going to teach you the tools now. So when we get home and out of these face masks at night, before bed, we'll be able to do it on our own, okay? So like I said, the two fingers behind the ears, one in front of the ear, one behind, down the jawline, follow that neck, okay? And then open that shoulder blade and draw that fluid downward. You want to put a little bit more pressure into this right here, okay? Making sure the pressure is a little bit harder. And that should feel really good. Okay. Draining all the fluid that's stuck in your head and on your face and under the jaw. You're drawing that towards the main guy, the main character. Okay, so the major player here is going to be the axilla. Okay, where does this guy live? Where are you drawing this fluid to? The armpit area. Yeah. So, right in your armpit, deep into these muscles, lives the major lymph node network. Okay, so here, you're gonna, and this is, like I said, find what feels good for you. If you want to do like this, using your knuckles, for me, that's what I like to do. If you want to use the pads of your palms like we did earlier, completely up to you. If you want to do one at a time, any of it is great as long as you're moving it. It's all good. It's all good. All right, and making sure we draw little circles one way gently and getting deeper as we go, increasing the pressure slowly. Okay. Really helping to drain it out here. And then drawing circles the other way. Okay. Beautiful. Everybody, wonderful job. So now that we know where our lymph node major networks are, okay, let's again carry on with that notion into the exercise portion of this. How can we strengthen those muscles in that area so that over time it becomes a muscle memory, if you will? You can do it with little to no conscious effort. Okay, become that well-oiled machine so that your body can flush out those toxins efficiently. Over time, hopefully, you won't even have to think about it. Your body will just naturally do that for you. Okay, so let's prepare our minds again. Okay, and if you're having difficulty bringing mindfulness to the party, what I like to do is I often like to focus on my breath. You can't concentrate, start counting. And I like to start counting backwards. So let's try it together. Okay, so close your eyes here. I'm going to count backwards from 10. When I arrive at 0, your mind will be in this very room, connected with the body and the breath. You will be one. You will be present, and you will be focused. All right? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay. Now, let's go through these simple home exercises. Okay. First things first, neck rolls. Now, we all know how to do this, I'm sure of it. Okay, why is it really great? Because it gets into those little nitty-gritty parts of the jaw, the shoulders, that has the lymph nodes that we need to drain. Okay, so we're going to start by drawing little circles, using your nose to kind of draw little circles like this. Okay, and start small. Just imagine you're tracing like an oblong one, right? Or a quarter sized circle. And then slowly start to make it larger. Increase it. Teacup saucer size. Good. Finally, a dinner plate. And if you can manage a beach ball, right? And invite those little crunchy sounds that you may be hearing. It's all good. All right, let's reverse that, going the opposite way. Making it smaller to the teacup saucer size, and finally to the quarter size. Okay. Beautiful. Next, we have shoulder circles. Okay, so touch your shoulders with your fingertips. We're going to draw those circles, again, starting small with the elbows here, okay, and then making it larger as you go, really exaggerating here. Big circle, big movement, big stretch. Okay, very nice. Let's reverse that. Again, what is this tapping into? The axilla lymph nodes, right? Okay, you're accessing one of the largest node systems, the networks in your body. Okay. Great. Next, we have pelvic tilt. Now, this one, ideally, you would be laying on the floor, or you would be on the floor. And in yoga, we do this by the cat-cow position. But if you're seated, you can totally do this as well, if you're seated in a chair. All right, or standing as well, okay? But the majority of people here I see are, I'm going to show you what that looks like seated and standing, okay? So let's sit up nice and tall. Let's roll the shoulders back and away from the ears here. Good. Inhale to really arch the back here. Open the chest, sending the gaze slightly upward. Okay, on the exhale, we're going to reverse that. Okay, tucking the tailbone under. Drawing the navel into the spine, mindfully here, gazing at the belly button. Good. Inhale, find your flow. Contracting the back here. Good. Exhale. I'm going to do one cycle standing so you can see what it looks like. Okay. Inhale, roll the shoulders back. Exhale. All right. Next up, we have single leg circles. Again, this is for your lymph nodes that live in the pelvic area. Okay, so I encourage you to stand up for this one. Okay, so everybody get up out of the seat. Okay, so let's start with the right leg. We're going to balance ourselves on the left leg, drop the right leg, drop that hip. Okay, and then we're just going to draw a circle. Let it swing. Okay, draw circles here. Good, let's reverse that opposite way. And this is going to challenge your balance a little bit too. Certainly challenging mine. All right, let's get the opposite leg. Okay, left side, balance on the right leg. Let's drop the left leg, drop the hip just a bit. And we're going to draw circles one way. Okay. And let's draw circles the other way. Okay, beautiful. All right, next, I encourage you to stay standing for this one. We're going to do a forward bend, Uttanasana. Okay, so inhale, let's drop the hands down by our sides here. Inhale, we're going to lift and reach up towards the sky. Exhale, we're going to dive forward, float it down, and then hang over the legs here, grabbing opposite elbows and releasing. Just letting the head hang heavy. Allowing the blood to flow in the opposite direction just for a bit. Great, let's inhale to come back up together slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, head coming last. All right. The cleansing breath. Okay, now ideally you would do 500 at a time because of time restraint. Okay, we're going to do just 20 together. And what that looks like is you're going to breathe forcefully out through the nose. Okay, so if you guys want to take a seat for this, you totally can. All right, and I'm going to demo what that looks and sounds like first. And then I'm going to invite you guys to do a cycle together of 20 breaths, okay? So you're contracting the ab muscles here forcefully into very short bursts. So inhale. And that's what a cleansing breath is, okay? So let's try that together. Okay, let's take one big inhale together. Here we go, big breath. Let's do 20 together. All right, beautiful, great job everybody. Now, side body stretches, we all know how to do this. You can do it standing, seated, okay? So you're just gonna lift your hand one way, okay, and really start to dip here. Yeah, and draining all of the lymph fluids here, stuck in the side body. Okay, maybe you can look upwards, right? Inhale to come back to center. Just drop that hands, get the other side. Really reach here, stretching, big stretch. Wonderful, sending that gaze upwards. Amazing. All right, and releasing. Great, last thing, the squat. We all know it. It gives you that amazing peachy butt that we very much desire, okay? But let me tell you why it's so great. Not only does it give you an amazing butt, it also helps, it's a compound movement. So when you squat, it's going to hit those nodes here, the nodes here, and if you open the chest and do it right, it's going to hit those nodes here. Right, so that's just why it's so great. Now, if you want to join me on this, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to do 3 quick ones to show you the correct form for a squat, okay? So knees hip width apart, or wider if you want to go into a sumo squat. Totally up to you, the choice is yours. When we reach down, you want to imagine you're sitting backwards into a chair here, okay? Making sure your knees are not extended over the feet, okay? And when you come up, on the inhale, we're not locking out the knees here, okay? Make sure there's a soft, gentle bend in the knees. Come down for another one. Take it back up. And you want to sync this with the breath to make it mindful as well, okay? All right, so here we go. Inhale, coming down. And then exhale, coming back up. Okay? Now, these easy movements, you can do it anywhere. Anywhere. Like I said, I've done some of these in a taxi. It's amazing. I probably wouldn't do it on the subway. All right, so those are home movements you can do. I'm going to do a quick dry body brushing demo for you. I'm going to have a wonderful model come join me on the stage. Her name is Stacy, and she's actually going to be leading our nature therapy session tomorrow. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Stacy. Thank you. Just here. Yeah. Yeah, so just a quick note on dry body brushing. What is it? You're just brushing your body dry. So why is it so great? It exfoliates. It reduces the appearance of cellulite if you have them. Okay, and it also stimulates your lymphatic system. Most important here. All right, so what do you need? One of these guys. This is your dry body brush. This is what it looks like. It comes in a variety of forms, but this is the one that I use. Where can you find it? If you guys are a coupon lover like I am, I got it off coupon. It comes in a pack of 2, and it's 8,600 won. So, and as of yesterday, there's only 6 left. So, hop to it, guys. Get to it. All right, it's nearly out of stock. Yeah. How to, a demo. Tips to follow, start at the feet. Okay, so if you look at this diagram here, all the arrows seem to be moving upwards. Okay, and the arrows here move downwards. So the idea is to move towards the heart. All right, that's the idea. So I'm going to start, Stacy. Ideally, you would be nearly naked. That's the ideal situation, but because for the sake of this demonstration, we're just going to show what it would look like, okay? So you're going to start at the feet, and you're just going to start to brush upwards. And you're moving all of the lymph fluids that's stuck here. Okay, so now you know where the lymph fluids get stuck, and you know how to increase the muscles around them through exercise. We're going to give them another boost by a dry body brushing. Like I said, this should be on skin contact, okay? All right, Stacy, how does this feel?
Lovely.
Feels good. Feels good, doesn't it? And it should feel really good. And then the back side as well. And notice I'm doing small little gentle strokes upwards here, upwards, upwards, right? And then once you get to your abdomen, you want to move in a clockwise position. No, you're perfect. Yeah. And then once you're on the abdomen, move in a clockwise circular motion here. And that's going to help to stimulate digestion as well. Okay, and then the arms, we're going to start with the fingers, brushing it upwards. Doesn't that feel great?
Yes,
yeah. Moving it upwards, okay, the other side. Again, towards the heart, and then on the back, upwards. Now, when it comes to your jaw, because we're moving towards the heart, you want to brush downwards here. Brush downwards here, okay? Brush downwards here, towards the heart. All right? How was that, Stacey? All right, thank you so much, Stacey. Everyone, please give her another round of applause for being our wonderful model today. All right, boosting your immune system. So what did we go through today? We did a little bit of self-massage. How to boost your immune system. Self-massage. So amazing for your immune system. Gentle, intelligent movement exercises. Again, strengthen those muscles where we actually need it the most. And finally, your dry body brushing. That's going to stimulate that lymph flow even further. We're hitting it with a 3 combo. Okay? All right, some extra tips for you. You cannot get well if you do not practice these little tips. All right, so practice. Find some balance in your day to practice, and even if it's just 5 minutes in the day, that'll help. Anything helps. All right, meditate. Find some time for mindfulness, because that's really going to help to strengthen those nerve pathways like we talked about. Drink lots of water, because once these fluids start going, you're going to need to replenish the fluids, okay, to help flush everything out. And then last but not least, the jjimjilbang. There's a reason why all those amazing ajamas, they know what they're doing. Weekly, I suggest to go there and really open up those pores and get everything going even more. Okay? I hope today's session was super insightful for you, and I've given you some tools that you can take away with you. Again, like I said, anytime, anywhere. I hope you find it helpful, and I hope you find some time in your day to practice these. Okay, thank you so much for today. Be well and stay well. Namaste.
Thank you so much to Jen Pham for that fantastic presentation. Also to Stacey for your lovely, I was going to say lovely body, that's not what I mean, for borrowing, for lending us your lovely body for the demonstration. So we are running a little bit over time, but that's okay because we've got enough time. We are going to open it up for Q&A. We've got a couple of comments for you on the internet from our viewers at home.
Sure.
First up, we've got Gomi Koren Nim saying, I love Jen Pham's self-lymph massage. It's really helpful to my stiff body.
Wonderful.
So that's
Love
nice.
to hear that.
Sarah Slegel saying, I think this is my favourite presentation so far today. 2 thumbs up.
Awesome. Thank you.
It's nice. And well, it's more than nice, it's lovely. And we've not got any questions on here at the moment. Does anyone in the audience have any questions about the presentation?
No questions.
Not so far. I actually have a question for you. So
Sure.
as you were demonstrating on Stacey, the body brushing, and
Yes.
of course Stacey was standing up because we're here in the presentation. What would be your recommendation if you're going to do this at home? Is there a little routine that you would go through in terms of, 10 minutes or even 5 minutes to incorporate a couple of the things that you talked about today? What would you recommend people could incorporate in their lives just to do that as a bit of a habit building exercise?
I usually dry body brush right before I shower. Right before I shower, yeah. So, and why I do that is because you're kind of lifting a lot of dead skin cells, you're exfoliating the skin, so, it's helpful to get into the shower right after that. But not only that, right when I wake up in the morning, when I do dry body brushing, it really helps to invigorate and give me a lot of energy, and it starts my day off right. And so that's a little habit that I started to incorporate, and I feel all the better for it, honestly. It's so great, so I encourage you to try that. Like I said, coupon, it's there for you guys, it's waiting for you, so what's your excuse? Yeah, try it.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
This is also a stand-up comedy routine. So. And also just an extra onto that, because Stacey was standing upright. Is there any special position that we should be in when doing these exercises? Of course, yoga, you can stand, sit, lie down, the massage, same. What about body brushing?
Anything is okay, honestly. For me, it's more convenient to stand because I can kind of get everything. But if you're laying down, I've done it laying down too. It's all good, as so long as you do it. That's the only thing. As long as you're doing it, that's okay. Laying down, you can brush the front side and then flip over to the other side and, get the other side as well. But, yeah.
Thank you very much for that. We've got Mohammed Mana, who is not with us here, but he's online. He said, perfect presentation, thank you. Please send her my greetings.
Thank you, and I enjoyed his as well, so that's wonderful.
It was fantastic. Also, we've got Nizal Tulader saying, thank you for an amazing session. How many times of those exercises is advised for best results?
I would say start off slow if you're new to these kinds of poses. So even if you set aside, like I said, 5 or 10 minutes, if you want to start off with once a week and then slowly start to increase that. It depends on you, how like I said, where you are in your journey, in your practice, in your yoga practice. But even 5 minutes a day can do wonders, really.
Absolutely, stretch daily. Right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. Do we have any questions from our participants here? Any comments? No? Just thumbs up, that's nice. Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the fantastic Jen Pham.
Thank you.
All right. Well, it's got to that time now. It's time to say goodbye. Oh, so sad. I would just like to say thank you so much to everyone for being here and for, again, being so vigilant with our COVID-19 prevention measures. and to all of you at home for being so understanding and for joining us throughout the day. It's been fantastic to see all your comments, all your questions, and we're sorry that we couldn't answer every single one. However, it has been an absolute honour to have you join us, even given these really difficult circumstances. So thank you so much for tuning in at home as well. So before closing the conference, I'd like to ask you for just a little bit more time of yours. I know you've spent a lot of time with us today. We have a feedback survey. So we'd love to hear your comments about wellness, about any of the speakers, and about BIWC 2020 in general. So I do believe, ta-da, we have a QR code. And it's like magic. And what this will do, if you scan this code, it's also on the back of your name badge here. So all you need to do is scan the code with your cell phone, and you can give us your feedback. So it's a link to the feedback survey. It's going to take about 3 minutes of your time. And what it will do is it will enable us to move forward into BIWC 2021, 2022 with more of an insight into how you feel it's gone, and it means that we can, improve on our performance today and make it better for everyone out there. We do not ask for any personal information, so don't worry about that. We won't spam you afterwards. And yeah, just for the next few minutes, please take the time to give us your feedback, your thoughts on today's wellness seminar. Thank you so much. So just to double down on what I said, at the back of your name badge, there is a link, okay? So you can click that. It says BIWC 2020 Participant Satisfaction Survey. So you can click or scan that and go through and give us your feedback. All right, I hope you're all done giving us positive feedback. But of course, all the feedback you give us is absolutely crucial to us moving forward and becoming a more successful conference. And hopefully we can move forward into the future without all these COVID-19 restrictions, and we manage to get it under control, and we see a different side to what we've now come to call the new normal. So thank you so much for your time and cooperation. It's time for me to say goodbye to you today. I want to say a big, big thank you to everyone for joining us from the comfort of your homes. I hope you've enjoyed today. If you tuned in and then came back, had a little break, it's been wonderful to have you with us, so big thank you. To everyone here on site as well, although there's not many of us here today, it has been an absolute pleasure to host the event with you here. And it's been really nice to just watch everyone enjoying themselves and really getting the most out of all the sessions here today. I hope that we all got closer to wellness that is right for us. And as so many people have said, all of our speakers actually said, it's all about you. It's no one-size-fits-all wellness solution. It's something that we need to play with, that we need to discover, and that we need to learn as a lifestyle, and not just as something to consume and then move on with our bad habits, of which I have many, but that's all right. And I certainly hope that you enjoyed all the presentations that our speakers here at BIWC 2020 had for you. I certainly know for myself, it's been very enlightening, eye-opening, and I've really, really enjoyed it. So I'm sure we can all take away some really wonderful things and apply them. And BIWC is so proud to be able to share such wisdom and insight, and be able to bring that here to you today, here in Busan, is something pretty special. So thank you so much for joining us for that. So thank you for attending today. Of course, despite COVID-19, we have, I think, had a very successful day here. And before I close everything off, I would like to make a short announcement about tomorrow's schedule. So for all of you at home attending virtually, please do keep this in mind for tomorrow's schedule if you're signed up. Of course, COVID-19 regulations for outdoor events are different, so we're still proceeding with COVID-19 very strict regulations. However, we will be running the outdoor event, so to ensure the program runs on schedule, please arrive at the Green Plaza in Gumgang Park by 9:30 a.m. with the name badge you got today. If you didn't attend today, then you can arrive on site, we'll register you, we'll take your temperature, and you'll be able to enjoy the experience. You'll need to bring your own water bottle full of water, okay? We're not going to give out plastic bottles of water. However, we will give you the souvenir that you were supposed to pick up today if you couldn't manage to make it here. We've also got a snack pack for you, a little mat for our nature therapy experience, and just some treats for you for tomorrow's experience. Okay, so for all the information, you can scan the QR code on the back of your name badge. Otherwise, you can get it. What we'll do today as well, we'll send out another email to you and just give you, a double check of the information. If you are allergic to any bug bites, flowers, etc., please do bring or prepare yourself some allergy medicine, sunscreen, wear a hat, wear appropriate clothing, appropriate footwear, and make sure you're prepared to sit down on the ground to enjoy a little bit of movement outside and to do some gentle hiking as well. So for all the information, like I said, please check out the website at www.biwc.kr. You can also scan the QR code, and we will send out an extra notification later on this evening to all our participants. Thank you again, and I want to say a big thank you to our organisers. Please, big round of applause for BZN Communications. I would love to say thank you to our technical team. They have been amazing, especially on short notice. To all the speakers here, thank you so much, you've been phenomenal. To all of our volunteers that nobody can see up the back, thank you so much to all our staff and volunteers. And most of all, thank you to you at home for joining us for this really exciting step towards another big move in K-Wellness right here in Busan. We're all part of it, and that's really, really exciting. I've been your MC for today, Laura McCluckey, and I wish you all a very safe and peaceful and mindful onward journey. We'll see you tomorrow. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Laura.